I was invited to the Sustainability Conference at the United Nations in May. New York was beautiful in May. It was very sunny, and I used to take wonderful long walks. And I went to the Metropolitan Museum with my camera, and I was just stunned how many pieces of art had an aura. And it reminded me of visiting museums as a child and the conflict that I had growing up, studying science. Why does modern medicine not have this piece? If the plant biology has the bud and the petals on the same page, why does human biology not have the gland and the chakra on the same page? Why was there a divorce? Why have they been separated? Why is there a no man's land with machine guns pointing at us from the other side? And of course, the reason for this is ignorance and fear. It's also because we haven't had the technology sensitive enough to appreciate the subtle bodies that we as energy medicine practitioners work with. So my journey with you today is very much covering that basic ground between the two worlds. And I think you're going to enjoy it, because part of the process is a discovery, incredible effect of the NES system. And I don't say that lightly. So my talk is entitled Anatomy and Physiology of the Human Body Field. I'm condescending now to call it a body field. This is Peter's moniker. Scientifically, we call it the biofield. If you look up biofield, you'll find researches by Glenn Ryan, by Beverly Rubik. I even had the great pleasure a couple of days ago of visiting Pop in his research laboratory. And I was quite sad to see that, there's so little funding for his research that people are having to leave or work for free. So if any of you get the right numbers in the lotto, make sure that you send a check to Pop. About 20 years ago, I had the great fortune of meeting a professor at a university, and her name is Maya Master Moose. She's a Zoroastrian lady, and she showed me a fabulous book called The Rainbow Colors of Light, which she'd written, which was a thesis on radionics, Keelian photography, color therapy, the whole spectrum that we're all still involved with now. And she said to me, I want you to take this work further. So I am not a self-made scientist. I'm doing what my guru asked me to do. And I've been doing it for 20 years. My president, who's a very eminent scientist called Dr. Shukla, advised me to move to Pune, because Pune is like the Oxford of the East. There's lots of universities, fabulous facilities, and we found a place called MIT, where, because it's a United Nations facility, we felt that our small piece of work could potentially have credibility, even though it was being conducted in India. In fact, the unfolding experience of guardianship that the trustees of that university have done to attempts that have tried to close us down makes me realize there were other reasons why we chose that place. This is my research team. There's quite a few scientists and doctors. My little boy, Raphael. This was a Diwali party we had a few days ago. Diwali is New Year. And this is some of the team when Sarah, the NES research head, came to visit. to initiate our NES study. And thinking about Sarah and all the other members of the NES team, could I ask you all just to stand up? And even though they're all working hard, loading up your computers with new software, should we just give them a hand? On your feet. Come on.